Hey guys, this video is going to be interesting because I think it's been another 4 days since my last video. I went through that Herc Sing cycle if you've been following along, and it's funny, I've been thinking about it as I watch these videos. I'm really glad I'm making them. They're great for me, they're great to document the process, and they're great to just like produce something. This is my first time on YouTube and my first time making stuff consistently, even though I'm just doing this very raw and organic and I'm not planning it out at all. And I could be, making it more helpful or more progressive or more sensical if I wanted to plan it out. But I really like just going off the cuff here. And I'm excited to make these videos over and over again, but I'm realizing that maybe not a lot of people will walk through the whole series because it's kind of taxing to watch all of it. And that's okay. That's good, because even if one person needs this type of content, this consistency content, where they're watching someone actually go through the whole process and telling the truth and hercs and then get better, and that's what I really believe is going to happen, is that it's going to continue to, oh, I need to use this hand actually because of the way it reflects. It's funny, if you're on stage and you say like stage left, and you use your left hand, you're actually pointing to the right, which is very humorous. And so if you're drawing a graph, like no one sees graphs go up this way, even though this is normal for me, like a graph, an upward going graph. Now it looks like a graph is going up normal. So it's like, even though he goes up and then hercs is a little bit and then keeps going up and then hercs is and so that's the type of thing that you have to do. You actually have to use the opposite hand. But the whole point that I'm saying after all that nonsense is the fact that, even if one person watches me go through this cycle, and it ends up encouraging them to not necessarily buy an AmpCoil, but make good decisions of health because they watched someone struggle through it themselves, then that's great. Even if it's one person, two people, it doesn't matter. I think more people will end up watching them, but it made me decide that at the end of all this, I'll probably make like a 20-minute simple video that someone can watch in one sitting about my journey. But it's also important to document the journey, because that's like the real evidence. In some of the previous videos, if you've been following along 2 or 3 videos ago, like I was Herc Sing hardcore. And the reason I didn't make videos every day or every other day as I've been making them is because I wasn't strong enough, and my health comes first. Even right now, you've heard me say it multiple times, but I get a little dizzy when I'm talking because I get passionate, and passion requires chemicals, and chemicals are something I'm very depleted of because I went and played volleyball hardcore when I was just starting to get better about a year and a half ago. And I made myself have extreme adrenal fatigue, like an extreme chronic fatigue. So now when I need chemicals and I need passion and stuff, it actually taxes my body quite a bit. So I need to slow down my communication, chill out a little bit. Here, you can help me woosah. I'm just going to woosah. I don't know if you've seen Bad Boys 2. Not a good movie for people to see, but I saw it way in my past, okay? No shame. But in the movie, in order to calm down, one of the cops is like, woosah. And it's like humorous, because it's Asian and Eastern and all that stuff is true, actually, which is funny. But anyways, to talk about the Herc Sing and talk about what I went through, now that it's kind of concluded, my dad and I were talking and we were laughing because we were a Western medicine family before all this, and before Western medicine couldn't solve these issues that I was having. And so when we heard about like people with chronic diseases and the moon, and then when the moon is full, it increases your symptoms, and some bacteria are on a birth cycle that coincides with the new moon. My dad and I were like, don't know about that. It was so funny to now look back on us and see the kinds of things we thought and believed. But now my dad was like, Connor, maybe you weren't Herc Sing. Honestly, maybe it was the moon, because we've been ever since I had Lyme for months now, I have these moments where the symptoms just dramatically increase. And I was like, what the heck's going on? And we didn't know why. And then someone told us about 3.5 months ago about the moon, and it started happening at the end of the month every time. And I would be like in bed for 2 or 3 days. And so it wasn't as much of a hercs, because someone in the AmpCoil Facebook group, which if you haven't joined, let me know in the comments if you want to join. And we let people who don't have AmpCoils join all the time. People who have AmpCoils join all the time. It's just for people talking about AmpCoil, sharing their stories. But someone in the AmpCoil Facebook group, I said, man, I'm herxing really bad after step 5. And they're like, step 5 circulation, bro, is making you herx? So he's like, that's weird, like, you weakling. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so funny to think about just teasing each other, you know what I mean? Like, you weakling, like you're so sick or something like that. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyways, I just took it as funny because I like playing with people, and the fact that he was playing with me, it just made me laugh. It was humorous. But anyways, he pointed that out, and the fact that not a lot of people, a lot of people came to my defense, and they were like, everyone's different, and everyone has different pathogens, and, don't judge. It was like a joke, it was stupid. But I began to really think about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think that was a herx from step 5. I think it was because of the moon. And lo and behold, 2 or 3 days, July 2nd, July 3rd rolls around, and I'm fine, like completely fine, as far as my, Connor's version of fine. So what is Connor's version of fine right now? That's a perfect transition. I'm seeing more consistent energy, long-term energy. I'm not seeing as much drastic changes. My brain fog is pretty strong here. It's still fluctuating between like 20 and 45%. Obviously way down than what it was at 3 months ago. This is a slow process. A lot of people see results from AmpCoil from months like 2 through 9. And so it's, you're going to see growth in there. And a lot of people see a lot of results come from their second and third cleanse, their second and third rounds of cleanse. So I'm not even in cleanse yet. I am on general detox. And the way to describe it is like if you had a yard that was overgrown with grass, and you're like going to visit, maybe a foreclosed property or something like that, and that's been neglected a little bit. And that's okay. Things get neglected for all sorts of reasons all the time. But you go to this property and the grass is really high, and it's the kind of grass you don't want to walk in. And so someone takes a mower and they set the mower to a very high setting because they don't want the mower to get clogged. And I used to mow grass, so I understand that, I guess. But if you set the setting too low, it'll be too close to the blades. Too much grass will get caught up in the mower, and you'll screw the mower essentially. And the mower won't be able to work. So that's what happens to our bodies too. Like, if we freaking process too much crap, we can't handle it. The mowers of our body, the disposers of the grass, the disposers of disease, the detox pathways, it just won't be able to handle it all. So what do you have to do? You have to set the mower to a very general setting, very high setting, and just take that first layer off. And that's what the 30-day step program is. 30-step program, not days. It has nothing to do with days. You can take as many days as you want to get through it. Probably, ideally, anywhere between 60 and like 90. But ideally 60 days. And then for people who are really healthy already, who don't have Lyme, they can do it in like 30 days. But that's the concept of the general detox. General detox. It's a general detox, right? It covers a broad spectrum of things, and it rids them out of your body, right? General detox. I'm going to say it one more time, probably. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so that's what's been going on. I actually did a couple steps without videoing because my health comes first, and I wasn't feeling like videoing. But I videoed some of those ones when I was in the dumps, and you saw those, and I made sure to give those out because it's the truth, and it's important to represent the truth. Man, like lying causes a lot of pain, and it stinks because there's a lot of people in the Lyme community that are like taking advantage of people, and particularly the desperation associated with the disease causes people to try and buy things all the time. And that's why my family was really skeptical of AmpCoil at first, because it was a high price. But we found a way to use it, by basically renting one at someone's house and using it, 3 times a week there. But I'm going to make a video at the end of all this that describes different things, that makes it more simple and more easy to understand, and that it's not long-term. For the people who bear with me for this long-term, I appreciate it. It's fun. I'm just making these videos to be a blessing to you. I think I went through digestion. I did those codes, and then I did endocrine, exocrine, and I'm feeling good. I have lots of energy. It was so funny. I actually did immune boost last night. Sorry, my nose is itching. Hopefully I don't sneeze again. I did immune boost last night, and oh my gosh, that thing like empowered me like crazy. I couldn't go to bed, so I did immune boost at 11:30. I was tired. I was getting ready to go to sleep, and then boom, just full of energy after immune boost. It was 30 minutes long, and for literally 2 to 3 hours. And it's funny, as I was doing it, the immune boost, like immune boost. I don't know if anyone else has felt this. You can tell me in the comments, but like it felt like it was like clogging me and pushing something up, and it was like a really strange sensation. That I've felt things on the AmpCoil that I've never felt before in my life. And like I said, my family is a very Western family. I'm a spiritualist, though. I've been like talking to God my whole life. Um, a little different than my family. My mom's kind of like that too. But like I am very emotionally aware as well as physically aware as well as spiritually aware. I really think that pursuing the depths of love is the most important thing in life, and learning how to love other people well, how to be honest with yourself to really tell the truth. There's some things that it's really hard to tell the truth about, and there's some things that shouldn't be said like on a stage or on video, but rather in private to another friend. That's the whole point of having close friends. Sometimes in public, it's not good for us to hear certain things, uttered aloud, but rather in private. And so that's true too. You don't have to be honest about everything in the same way. You always have to be honest, but there's different ways to be honest. Lo and behold, I'm going to get off track here and get all into philosophy and stuff, but the steps are going well. I'm eating well. That's good. And this video is at 12 minutes. So if you found it entertaining, that's good and all. But I also don't want to waste too much of people's time. So here comes the classic.